Hello, so today is day 45 unemployed. I'm about to start my Uber Eats delivery. As I stated before, I do Uber Eats on the weekends just to supplement my income. I was doing that before I lost my job on March 14th of 2025. I'm hoping today will be a better day than yesterday when I dealt with the customer who refused to give me his PIN. I just want you guys to follow me on my journey today. I'll come in and out throughout the day. But again, the question I have is, have any of you experienced job loss where you're trying to determine what it is that you want to do with the rest of your life? And if you're trying to make a career change, how are you doing that? So it's actually a pretty nice day. There's a nice breeze coming through, so it shouldn't be as windy as it was yesterday. So I try to start my day not in the area that I live in, because those are usually low paying orders. I usually go to an area that's a little bit more affluent and have a lot of restaurants. So that's where I'm on today, and then I will turn on my Uber app and see where the day takes me. Like I said before, I hope today is better than it was yesterday. But to be totally honest, I got started really late yesterday, just as I'm getting started late today. I would say the best time to start is probably early in the morning, get the breakfast rush, and then you get the lunch rush, and then you get the dinner rush. But I'm going to steer the conversation in a different way. Again, just, I swear, if I could probably make the same amount of money that I was making in corporate, I might consider doing Uber. Again, that's a strong might. I did realize that I do like dealing with customers or clients, which is what I've always dealt with, client-facing roles in corporate America. I worked for various companies. There's been two companies that I left on my own. And then there were two companies where they either downsized or either they offshored their employee base overseas. Again, I know it's cheaper labor for these companies, but you don't think about your employees. That's why they say it's not good to give your all to a company. I know in the past, I'm the type of worker where even if I'm on hourly or on salary, I still give the best that I can. I will work, and this is to the detriment of myself. I will work whether or not I know that I should leave because I'm not getting paid for it. But my thing is, I always want to make sure that I'm doing what's best in the interest of the client. But I noticed that when it's time for them to downsize, they don't look at what you've given to the company, the hours that you've given, the time that you've brought your homework just to make sure you meet a deadline. When it's time for them to downsize, it's just the bottom line. And that's what I found in this last company that I was let go. I would sometimes bring my work home. There were about 2 days a week that I worked from home. So in those days, I worked longer than my original shift. But again, companies, when they're about to leave, when it's the bottom line, they do not consider that. So for all yous out there that may be doing the same thing that I'm doing, which is giving your all to a company, consider your own mental health and have a good work-life balance, because obviously I did not have a good work-life balance. And it didn't matter at the end. And at the end of the day, I was still let go, and my job was sent overseas. Again, I'm just curious to see how that's going to be, because my role is what they call a client-facing role. So I speak with employers and assist them with implementing benefits for their employees. So I'm not sure how that's going to work. And no offense, but speaking with someone over in India and you're trying to implement benefits like health benefits and FSAs and HSAs, I don't know how that's going to work for this particular company that I was employed with, because I know with me, just as a consumer, it's frustrating dealing with someone overseas, because generally I find that they're just following the script, and it's almost like they can't deviate from that script. So I'm curious to see how that is going. But I've actually been spending the last month that I've been unemployed just exploring myself and doing some self-reflection, some self-discovery, determining what's going to make me happy. I no longer want to put myself in a situation where I'm unhappy or where I'm giving my all to a company. I want a balanced work-life balance. So we'll see where it goes. I'm off to hopefully get a order. So I just got two really good orders. It actually was an add-on order. I got one for $8 and something. It's actually going over the mileage that I would typically go, but Uber is offering an additional $2 to complete it by a certain time. And while I was on my way to this particular restaurant, I got another $8 order going in the same direction. No added miles, and that one also was for $8 and something cents. So it kind of worked out. It worked out really well. So like I said, I'm just going to go by and pick up this order. And like I said, today is a great day. I mean, it's not too hot. It's kind of windy, but the wind actually feels good. I tend to sweat a lot. So it's a good day. A good day to be out here trying to make some added income. I just picked up my second order, and as you can see, I almost busted my butt. I'm on my way to my vehicle. There's a lot of traffic in this area. In the particular area that I'm in, there's some type of festival that is going on. So a lot of people are out today. So just walking to my car.
Relations with Russia.
Oh my God, I just realized that
it's interesting too.
I got out and left my car running, and usually I don't leave my car running if I gotta walk for a certain amount of time. And I guess that's why I wasn't able to lock my door from the outside. I didn't think anything of it. Okay. Well, like I said, these two combined orders will be about $16, and I know these people tipped, and I'm sure some of you are saying that tips aren't mandatory. You're right, they're not mandatory. However, Uber on a flat rate sometimes, depending on where it's going, will only pay sometimes $2, $3, and depending on where it's going, it's not even worth between Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin. Depending on the amount of miles, it's not even worth the trip. So I don't think a lot of people realize that, and we can pick and choose what orders we want. So in my opinion, depending on the mileage, depending on where it's going, I will not take the order. If I know it's in an area where it's going to be, I'm going to have difficulties parking, I will not take that order. So, all right, off to drop off this order, these two orders. I'll be back. Okay, I am really trying to keep my cool right now. I just dropped off the second order of the The 2 orders that I had was $8 a piece. Oh, I order this Uber all the time, so I know that it shows you where the driver is. I'm dropping off my first order, and I get a link or a message from the second client asking me, am I on my way? So I said, yes, I'm on my way. So I told her what street I was on. So she tells me to come to the emergency room. I go by the emergency room where she tells me to go. I'm calling her, but because I'm about to get out my vehicle, it switches over from my car to my headset. And so I hear her say, I hate when these people, they call and they don't know how to answer. So she didn't realize I heard her. I said, ma'am, I do know how to answer the phone like that. She goes, well, where are you? I said, I'm in the emergency room where you told me to go, and I'm about to give you your food. So she comes over, she sees me, she comes over to the car. She doesn't say hi or anything, grabs her food. I said, are you sure you got it? She says, yes, I got it, and then walked away. You guys are probably going to say that I'm stereotyping people, but I swear our people can be some of the nastiest people when we're delivering to. This woman was so nasty, and I went out of my way to be nice to her. I take special care when I'm delivering food. Like, I have an insulated bag that I put all of their food in, just so is to keep it hot or to keep it cold. That doesn't matter to some of these people. She was extremely nasty. It actually was way out. It was about 10 miles, which means I typically wouldn't have took it, but I took it anyway. So the combined orders will probably be about $16. Sometimes Uber will pay you depending on how far you have to go. So she was just very nasty. It's very possible that she had been waiting for her food for a while, and so she was just a little annoyed. But if she had been waiting for her food for a while, I meant to look at the receipt to see when the order actually came in. Because if she had been waiting for her food for a while, it's possible because she didn't tip, no other driver wanted to take the order. But again, it was a pretty good order. It was about $8, but again, it was for about 10. It was $8 for 10 miles. Sorry, I got another order coming in, and you wouldn't believe this order is going to Summit from Hook and Reel, which is about 18 miles for $5. There's no way that I'm taking that order. Kiss my butt. So I'm waiting for my other order to come in. Just got a $2 order. I'm not taking a $2 order. I don't care where it's going. The only time that I will take like a low paying order is if I'm like trying to go into that area, or if I'm on my way home and it's like right in the area. But I'm not taking this $2 order. So, but yeah, so this is usually how I spend my weekends, and most likely I've been spending it during the week since I'm just, like I said, I'm out of work right now. So I have to find a way to supplement my income. I am, however, getting unemployment, which it's okay. The only thing one thing I'm concerned about is medical insurance. My job offered me, they gave me like 30 additional days of coverage. So May 1st, I will be without insurance. I am not going to go on Cobra. If I decided to continue coverage through Cobra, through my employer, it would be a total of $700 and something just for medical alone, which I cannot afford. So I went on Marketplace, so I'll most likely just get Marketplace insurance. Sorry about that. I'll most likely just take Marketplace insurance. So until I can find other employment. Like I said, I had this interview a few days ago, and it went really well. So I'll see how that goes. And in the meantime, until I do find employment, I will unfortunately continue to have to do Uber Eats in order to, supplement my income. So, all right. So just waiting for another order to come over. Hopefully it's a really good order. I usually try to finish before dark because I don't like delivering for safety reasons. I just don't like delivering when it's dark outside. So I'll see you guys in a few moments. So I'm about halfway done with my Uber deliveries. And I just dropped off 2 orders that paid $8.08, which means they were each $4.04 a piece. One of the customers met me at the door and I didn't have to wait. But the other customer, it was confusing where they lived. I got to her apartment and of course, I had to ring her bell several times. And guess what? Even though it was an $8 order, which is, I appreciate, it was a very good order, this is more so about the behavior of the no-tip orders or no-tip clients. I knew once I had to wait for her like that it was probably no tip. And then unfortunately when she came to the door. And then I just checked my earnings afterwards, and again, it was no tip. So like I said, I don't know if it has something to do with the characteristic of the person, and I'm not saying that all no-tip orders do this, because I understand not everyone has money to tip. I'm just really talking about the characteristics, how I find that most orders that I get, and if I have to wait for them, or they're like really, they send me nasty messages, I can almost always guarantee that that's probably a no tip order, and maybe they're just a miserable person. But like I said, I'm halfway done. I'm about to go pick up another order, and it's actually going back to the area that I'm trying to go to, which is actually good. And again, I'm only doing this to supplement my income, and now when I don't have a job at all, it's actually going to be my full-time job. So I will check in at another time. All right. Thanks, everyone. So my day is officially over with doing Uber. I'm on my way home now to go walk. I'm pet sitting, so I'm going to go home and walk my friend's dog. The last order took me really out of my way, but I can't really do anything about it now. Overall, it was a productive day. Nothing really major happened. I didn't really have, except for that one client that was just really rude. But other than that, it was a productive day. Until I find another job, this is something that I will have to continue to do, unfortunately. Previously I was just doing it on the weekends, but now that I am out of work, I've been doing it more frequently. So I'm hoping you guys enjoyed this journey with me today, as I did Uber Eats today. And if you like this video, I would love it if you would consider giving me a thumbs up, and also if you can subscribe to my channel, that would be great. All right, everyone, have a great evening or day. Second from the right lane.